Greetings. So this is kind of going to be like a follow-up or part two to the reading, the live stream that I did on the music song, the channeled song that came to me, the 112 song or whatever. And I will link it in the description just in case you didn't watch it, if you're led to watch it at least. Um, I felt led to come back and like kind of go into it deeper because I feel like for some reason, of course, everything happens in its own divine way and how it's supposed to happen. But I just felt like that reading kind of, I didn't want to taint it. It was like, the enemy, dark forces and energies, they don't like um, when you talk about divine energies and divine connections. They don't like when you expose darkness and stuff like that. So, I kind of assumed, I was kind of low key prepared that I was going to have some interference or whatever. Um, but regardless of that, I'm going to get the message out anyway. And I'm going to do it, in privacy with no live streams with a whole bunch of energies and people watching and stuff like that, especially people that don't have good intentions, because not everyone that watches, readings or watches live streams and watches readers have best intentions. Some of them are, surveillance spirits, people that like to surveillance you, watch you, maybe send you negative energy, troll, attack you. So you just have to be mindful of that. And I'm, doing this because I feel more comfortable doing this. And so yeah, anyway, we pulled a lot of cards in that reading, and I'm just kind of going to go over what I picked up just going back into the reading. So we had the Chariot that came out, we had the Sun, and we had the High Priestess that came out. So what I'm getting, just to go further into this, is that for one, what I was picking up on was a divine connection. I don't feel like I was picking up just, just connections where, it's a connection where two people just come together and, they live happily ever after, in the sense that, or have kids or whatever the case may be, or it's drama filled. It's a whole bunch of like toxicity, love and hip hop stuff. These are divine connections where they have a divine purpose and calling, and each party has a divine purpose and calling. And with that being said, what comes with that is spiritual attacks. So dark forces are going to try to come in and stop the forward movement that is being created. A lot of you guys are gifted psychics already, or intuitives. Whether you're male or female, you guys are already very aware of like the spiritual aspects of this connection. Maybe not as in depth that you feel that you should have. Maybe you're still coming into an awareness or alignment of the significance of your own life purpose and path, and how that aligns with this connection. Because this connection that I was tapping into was, first off, I just want to say this too. This is a highly divine connection where it's very influential in a positive way. It's a positively motivating connection on both ends of my heart chakra. I feel like an intense energy in my heart space. So that could be some sensations that you guys are feeling. It's like a strong feeling there. Almost like a heat in the chest. Or it's like kind of, it's like it's beating. Like I feel it. I don't know how to explain it. But this connection is highly influential on both ends. I feel like this is a connection that is very unorthodox. It's not going to be like a traditional type of connection, how it comes together or how you met. It's not a traditional, conventional type of energy or connection. I get that you guys are very unique in your own right. You guys are also very different from one another. Anytime there's movement, when it comes to these divine connections, where something massive is about to happen, or someone's going through a massive breakthrough or a healing process, These dark forces don't like that, and they're going to do their best to stop the progress of it. They're going to do anything or say anything, use anybody that they have to stop the movement. And it's not going to happen. No weapon form shall prosper, but just know that anytime that you're leveling up, you're healing something, you just broke free of something, or you're close to a major breakthrough, you're close to a blessing, you're close to, you know, some type of unity. And union does not always have to be physical, like being together and having a title or a label. Sometimes union is just healing some things, hashing some things out, clearing some type of karmic energies, you know, getting over a hurdle or something. Like, it doesn't always have to be just connected to a physical coming together or ending up together. Like, it doesn't have to just be that. So don't limit what union is, what unity is. So there's a lot of healing, a lot of self-work. This is a connection, like, this is what I get from this with the Empress card, is that the feminine energy is very, it's a strong, what's the right word I'm looking for? Because I feel energy and it's hard to explain it and put it into words. The feminine energy here is like a guiding light, some type of spiritual guide or advisor, or if you're not into, you know, spiritual work as far as like professionally, it doesn't matter. You might do spiritual work just on your own. This is a feminine, this is the type of energy where the feminine does spiritual work, prayer, healing work, somehow, you know, giving back. But as far as like the influence of the masculine energy, I feel like the feminine brings in a sense of security, comfort, a feeling of home, love, guidance. The masculine in situation, I feel like, does bring more of a lighthearted energy to the connection that kind of brings a bit of a shift, like things not being so heavy or so serious. I feel like Queen of Wands. Yeah, some of you guys are spiritual workers, but like I picked up in the other reading, there could be some third-party energies here, and someone might be healing from these past energies. Some of you guys, this is your mothers. Something that's being healed in relation to that. The Six of Cups came out, so I was getting reconciliation with this, but this is also soulmate energy, soul connection energy between the two of you. I also get inner child energy, that there's a lot of deep roots connected to the inner child, which some of you guys might have children of your own. The Sun card came out twice in two different decks. So that was a double confirmation of new beginnings, renewal, transformation, some type of blessings or abundance. There is an opportunity that could be presenting itself very soon, some type of creative energy. And Spirit is saying that this is a blessed connection with the Ten of Pentacles as well. Like, it has a lot of abundance. So, my cat's trying to come in. Come on, Miss Lady. I hate this fucking door. But what I'm picking up is that what I couldn't really get into is like the fact that this connection is going to face some challenges. It's always going to be that way. Because if it's a divine union, dark forces don't want to see this connection through. And it's not for the sake of just the fact of, of being in a relationship with someone. It's more so like the energy that you guys bring together. What? No, Ollie? Hold on, baby. Okay. Where are we at for time? Where are we at for time? Doesn't say. But what I was getting at is, when it comes to these divine connections, there is a higher force, a higher power that, you know, brings everything into structure, alignment, and balance. And the energy that you create when you guys come together, the calling on your life as an individual, calling on their life as an individual, being chosen, for whatever it is that you've been divinely chosen for. Just your energy alone, whether you see it or not, because it's all about the spirit. So you might look at yourself as like, oh, little old me, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But in the spirit realm, you're something else. You're something greater, something bigger than what you're able to fathom and see. And these spirits know that who they use, because they might use people around you. They could use anybody, a friend, whoever is receptible to darker energies, whether they're in a low vibration themselves or whether they are assigned to be, you know, an enemy against you or a karmic energy. Even if they don't realize it or not why they are attacking you, or maybe they do know, maybe they just have a hate, a disdain for you, an animosity for you, where they're just out to get you. They just don't like you, you know what I mean? And you kind of have to look at it as they have an assignment, they have an agenda that they have to carry out. You have an assignment and you have an agenda that you have to carry out, and they're not in accordance and agreement with one another. So there's going to be an opposition in that. The thing about it is, though, that the dark kingdom knows that they are the lesser and that they are not going to prosper in the end. It is what it is. We see that in this Archangel Michael candle. It's just that is the fate of the darker forces. However you want to look at it, on a spiritual level, they are the lesser. So they're not going to prosper, and you have to know that you have dominion over these dark forces, dark energies, these dark spirits. You have dominion over them. You have a divine right over them to cast them out, to bind them up, to fight against them. And sometimes it's just your energy alone. When you heal someone, you might get attacked because those forces don't want you to break that person free of those spirits that feed off of them or that are in the generations of the family or whatever. They're going to fight against that. It's a bigger picture. So this isn't for everybody. This isn't this little light and fluffy energy or this readings of like, oh, we're going to come together. Like, that's not the premises of a divine union, divine connection. When you're using the word divine, you're talking about a higher power, a higher energy, a higher force. The purpose of divine connections is also love. It's also to bring divinity and unity as well. So anything that goes against that, you're cleansing it out just by living your life, just by being in your purpose, whatever your purpose is. So you have to know what your purpose is before you can even truly align with a divine connection or divine union. Because if you don't know what you are, what you're bringing to the table, what your assignment is, you're not going to be able to join forces with that person, because it's like one person. It's just, you're going to drag the show. You're going to halt things. These horses have to be in alignment with one another in order for the chariot to even move in the right direction. And they have to take instructions from a higher source. So whether that be higher self, your angels, your spiritual team, the divine, the universe, whether it's following through the signs that you're receiving, the dreams, the messages, the music that you're hearing, the divine messages that spirit is sending into your life, whatever it is that spirit is speaking to you, that the Most High is speaking to you through, you have to be in alignment with that. Your ego cannot run the show. And that's why a lot of times why divine connections and divine counterparts within the connections, they have to grow through immense process of healing and growth sometimes. And it can be very painful. It's kind of like, why me? Why do I have to go through this? Blah, blah, blah. Some of them might have had tougher life experiences than most people, the most pain, the most healing. And it's like, a lot of times spirit will use your very things that you're battling with, that were your biggest hurts and pains, to be the very thing that is going to be what you're going to be useful to help other people with. Like, you had to grow through it in order to be a testimony and a messenger for others as well on their journey, their path. So you have to be consecrated and cleansed, purified of certain things, because you're going to be used for a higher purpose. Just as alone, but when you come together with two, so it's like the saying in the scripture in the Bible, and I hope that I'm not butchering this. But when two or more are gathered in my name, there I am in the midst. So when two or more are called and come in God's name, come in divine light, divinity, Spirit is in the midst of that. So when two pillars of light come together, these dark forces see that. So when I'm in my purpose, you're in your purpose, I'm in my power, they're in their power, and we come together, it's a force. What's that Neo? It's really fabulous, featuring Neo. You Make Me Better. The Neo part of the song where he says, I'm a movement by myself, but I'm a force when we're together. So it's a forceful, it's an energy, it's a strong force. So you got to look at it on an energy standpoint. We don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but principalities and things, and something, can't remember everything. But yeah, this physical realm is only a fragment of what's really the real. The spirit realm is where everything really pops off. That is the wound, the portal, the divine feminine energy, the subconscious, the nothingness realm. That is where everything is formed and created. And the masculine energy is the force that manifests itself into the physical realm. So as above, so below, right? The high priestess is that the spirit realm. She represents the spirit. And the masculine energy with the sun card represents the physical realm, the external, the conscious realm of things. So feminine energy, you are a silent force, just even within yourself. You represent just being your own self, just being in your own energy. You are influencing this. You are the light. Spirit gave that to me. Spirit gave that to me like a long time ago. Like I had to be the light in this situation. You can't look to the other person to be that. If you walk in your feminine energy, you have to be the light, the lighthouse. Feminine energy is the mother energy. What gives birth, what gives life, what gives light to. The masculine energy is that which plants the seed and creates through the feminine womb. So they are the driving, like the physical astral force, but they get their inspiration and their movement through the feminine energy. So it's a whole thing. It's a whole science how Spirit broke it down to me. But I hope that didn't go over someone's head. I hope that resonates and makes sense. Where we at for time? We're at 17 minutes, I think. Can't really see, but yeah, what I'm getting from this is that the other reading is kind of like an introduction, and this is just kind of just closing it out, I guess you can say. But pay attention to your dreams. Some of you guys might be seeking divine counsel from a feminine, like, or a female psychic or spiritual, like the oracle in the Matrix, basically. Like someone is seeking divine wisdom or divine guidance, or someone got a message from someone like an older feminine energy. Maybe you're going to, but you guys are going to get your clarity. Be discerning about who you pay services for. Make sure that they just, they could be a good psychic for someone else, but if they're not, they don't resonate with you, or they're not a part of your soul tribe, it may not be best to just get a reading from anyone. You got to use your discernment, because I've had people suggest go to certain readers and stuff because they resonated with them, but when I went, it wasn't necessarily beneficial for me. I didn't really resonate with them. Not saying that they are not a good reader or they're not gifted. They just didn't resonate with me. So you have to make sure that you're divinely led. But if that doesn't resonate with you, for others, you guys are that oracle, that divine messenger, and you are going to receive your clarity. Either way it goes, I really get that during Leo season, there's going to be a lot of positive movements. So I'm going to stop here because I don't want to go too much over, but I just kind of wanted to chime in, just kind of go in a little bit more. But that reading had to take place the way that it did in order for me to get this download and for Spirit to give me a little bit more. But yeah, so it always works out, whatever you know, these little dark forces try to use for your bad or your detriment, it actually turns out for your greater good. So much love to you guys. I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys. If you're interested in your own personal readings, you guys very well could book a reading with me. I'm available. Check out my website. If there's any questions that you do have about my services, feel free to email me, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Okay, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.